Oh boy, it's that time of the week again where we get to hear about how game that you know is bad and game that I know is good. That's right. We're just putting on the randomizer, the Touhou Luna Nights randomizer. I got this set up. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready? Let's start. Let's start with our first opinion. Bang. Official written works need to either put more focus on the main character on the story or just be an anthology series. I am 90% sure that I read this last week because I'm pretty sure I read this last week. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? I'm so sure I finished with that one. I guess I forgot to delete it. Okay, well anyway, glorp. We're gonna move on to the next one. Bang. Touhou fanbase was better before Touhou 17 when it spiked in popularity again. Does anyone have like actual metrics for this kind of thing? I'm curious. Like genuinely curious. You could probably search like Google research results, right? You have to look at it. Anti-new gens take, gatekeeper opinion, hipster take. Sounds like a them problem. Hot take. I wasn't here. I can't say. Where were you? Huh? Where the fuck were you? Sounds like bait. Gatekeeper take. That's bait. Stupid. Stupid. Dummy. Baka. But I'm actually kind of curious. Is that like an actual metric you can measure? Like outside of just Google searches, I suppose. I wonder if Touhou kind of had its I wonder about that. Asshole Reimu is kinda a boring joke. What fanworks rely too much into. Well, that was a sentence. So true take. So true? Bad take? It's not an option. Bad take is not an option. Stop having fun take. Hot take. Hot take, IDK if I agree though. Bad take, hot take. Well, that's a hot take, chat. I don't think that's a fanworks thing. But Reimu is kind of an asshole. You know? Now, I'm not gonna say she's not like a punk, but it's more that she's an aloof type of character. She treats humans and yokai equally, and how much she doesn't give a fuck about them. So her attitude is kind of standoffish, but that's what makes the prickly side that makes the sweet side so much better, you know? Could you imagine if Reimu was like a fucking magical girl protagonist, and she's like sweeping, and she goes, "Oh my god, hi Marissa, how you doing, bestie?" Like that. What is that? What is that? You want that? Is that what you want? Is that what you want a G-rated magical girl Reimu? No thanks. No thanks. Nuh-uh. Ow. This is dumb. Alright. People who say Touhou is declining is dumb. And on 2025 alone, we got things like FDF3, Liar Top Mountain, Touhou Dystopian official re-release of Fantasy Maiden Wars, literally became #1 game on Japanese Nintendo eShop, overthrowing Deltarune. Before I continue, I'd just like to state that this opened with 2025 alone, and then named like 5 games that came out less than 3 weeks ago. Okay, moving on. Not to mention the Misty's Isekai anime and other fan games. What other fan games? Nostalgia is a big part of the series, but sometimes people just got blinded by it so much to the point of bad faith. Even the mainline games are pretty good. Other than Touhou 19, which I'll admit it's pretty lackluster. 18 and 20 are probably the most replayable of the series just because of the sheer amount of options and motifs there are. That's not even out yet. No, it got announced and a trailer's out. Anyway, chat, floor is yours. Floor is yours. People have been saying Touhou's declining and dying for over 10 years. Try 20. Try as soon as the second game came out. It's just like Pokemon. We do this for everything, Pokemon included. Pokemon has been on the decline since Yellow version came out. Let's be real. Come on. It's never been good. It peaked in Red and Green, and when they released Blue version, they fell off. And then when they released Red and Blue in English, it was peak again. And then when they released Yellow, it fell off. And then when they released Gold and Silver, they fell off. And then they kept falling off. And now that's why Pokemon's so bad, because they've been falling for 30 years. For 30 years, they've been falling and falling. So now they are in the fucking 7th circle of hell. IDK, man, this lad just venting. I'm feeling. Well, I mean, maybe, but at the same time, they did say, like I said, they mentioned 5 games, all that came out in the last, like, 3 weeks. Now, if you ask me what other games came out in 2025 for Touhou, that's where I dench. Alright? That's when I glent, but that's, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, that's a hot take, chat, which, obviously... Angry. Alright. Saigyo Ayakashi, the tree that drains humans and kills them, is one of the best yokai and absolutely does not deserve to be sealed. Whoever sealed her up must die slowly and painfully under the tree, and the cherry blossoms is the last thing they see before they feel immense torture and they die. Oh, that's kind of angry. It's kind of angry. Yuko wrote that, maybe. I think Yuko's biggest fan wrote that, actually. Anyway, that's marked as a hot take, but well, that was just a hot mess. So, yeah. Oh, this is great. Oh, this one's great. This one's scientifically engineered. Sakuya is overrated. Rukoto is way better. Romilia is overrated. Marissa is overrated. What? Look, if I have to get brain damage reading it, you have to get brain damage reading it. Okay? Chat, that's marked as a hot take. But like, if that's actually your opinion, you need to specify a little bit more, because that just reads as horrible bait. That reads as horrendous bait. Brain damage. That's right. We all have a little bit of brain damage. The glint in my head gets a little deeper every day, until one day I will become a capital U in all of its glory. I can't open my bottle of goo. I can't open my bottle of goo. It's too strong. Wait, am I turning it the wrong way? I don't know. No, I wasn't. It just got stuck. Alright, I got it. Okay. I think I just broke my hand. We all know Chirno is strongest, but there has been no evidence proving that Daiose isn't the second strongest. Uh-huh. How's it a hot take, man? You're asking me? Listen, my guy. All you have to do is read the YouTube comments section, and you'll start to understand. You don't even have to read the YouTube comment section. You can literally just exist on the internet, and you will see that there are some people in this world who probably shouldn't have internet connection. That's all. Anyway, that's marked as a hot take, and it is kind of a shitpost, but it is funny to think that Daiose is, you know, holding back superpower. Ow. I'm dying. Alright. Whoops. Music, visibility, gameplay, mechanics, and Mamizo make 10 Desires the best game in the series. Visibility? Now, I have a lot of things to say about 10 Desires, but I've never criticized its visibility. The only games I really think have bad visibility are 16 and 17. Alright. That's bait, chat. That's bait. That's bait. That was easy bait. Come on, easy bait. Easy bait. If you're gonna talk about what makes 10 Desires good, Mamizo is definitely not one of them. As soon as you mention Mamizo, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. Mizuchi is so much cooler than Mima will ever be. True? Fact or opinion? Mamizo is the only fun fight in the game. Well, the only fun fight in 10 Desires is me fighting myself to click start or click quit. That's the most fun fight. Anyway. That's bait, chat. That's bait. That's bait. Mizuchi is so much cooler than Mima will ever be. How is that even possible? How could that even be possible? That's bait. Bam. The easy mode though meme needs to be put to rest. Some people have taken it too seriously, which leads to gatekeeping people out of trying the official games, all because of an almost 20-year-old meme at this point. Okay, well, this is marked as a hot take. I'm just gonna jump ahead on this one. Whoever sent this is living under a rock, because the easy mode meme hasn't really been relevant since 2014. Like, legitimately, this meme doesn't exist anymore. People don't say this. This is if somebody actually says this, they get looked at. If you're in a community where the majority of the people in it actually say that, then you're not in a good community. People don't actually fucking believe this. But you are right about one thing. There's a surprising amount of gatekeeping to the official games by the people that play them. But it's not because of the easy mode meme. It's definitely not because of that, that's for sure. But yeah, this one's funny to me because the concept of the easy mode meme being an iron wall that prevents you from playing Touhou games, like, motherfucker, who cares? Who cares? You're playing a single player game in your own room. Nobody even has to know you've played Touhou. It can be your secret shame. Why is that stopping you from playing the game? Because you think somebody on the internet, some fucking crusty loser on the internet is gonna be like, wow, you played on easy mode. Alright. Lunarians being overpowered makes the setting have more depth. The fact that Reimu and Marissa aren't the strongest characters in the universe despite being the protagonists makes the world feel more alive and exciting. I can feel my glint getting glinter. Chat, that is a hot take. That is a hot take. Now let me explain why this is being perceived as bait. First of all, Lunarians being overpowered doesn't make the setting have more depth at all. Because the whole concept of Touhou and its characters is that there's plenty of characters who have fucking game-breaking abilities, but they're all forced. They all participate in the spell card battles, which are even battles that put everybody on even footing. Calling Reimu and Marissa the strongest in the universe, they're not the strongest in the universe, they're humans. Now, Reimu is a cheater, that much is for certain, but Marissa is only strong in the sense of Danmaku battles. Reimu is a cheater, though, I'll give you that. But Lunarians being overpowered is also them just being masters of Danmaku and being able to beat everybody. Like, they're not well-designed characters. There's no depth there. They're just good because they need to win. So, I think you need to get your glint checked out, chat member. The whole concept of Touhou is the idea that characters with wacky-ass powers can't just use them to win. They have to play by established rules. And when the characters who don't even know the rules just fucking win, that's no depth. There's no depth there. There's no depth. Renosuke should actually be a part of the mainline games as either playable or a boss fight. Why? Tell me. Tell me why! Bait? Bait? Hot take? What would he do take? What does that mean? Hot take. He is hot, I'll give you that. Hot take. That's bait. Don't you Fumo weird me, you bitch. I will come to your house and make you grilled cheese. Bet. Alright. That's hot take. That's a hot take. Well, Renosuke doesn't participate in Danmaku battles, so there's no chance of him being playable. But I do concede that he is an interesting support character, and I would like him to be a support character, but playable, no. Boss fight, no. Support, yes. A support character, like a la SA style, yes. Alright. Okay. Those that complain that their character doesn't get enough representation should follow the advice, be the change you want to see in the world. There only being a few games to draw from didn't stop amazing fan works being created in early Windows era. This is my favorite chat member. This guy right here is now my favorite chat member. This is a hot take, but it's not a hot take. It's just true. Instead of complaining that your character isn't represented enough, fucking get to work and start representing your character. Just do it. Even if there is too much fan work, who cares? Make it yourself anyway. You can represent your idea of the character as long as it doesn't fucking utterly destroy or clash with the existing image, I suppose. But that's a me problem. Oh, Alright, but no, I agree with this. It comes down to it. If you want, like, sometimes people are motivated to take on new challenges for this kind of thing, and it's great. It's a great way to motivate yourself in some capacity. But there are people who would rather just complain and do nothing. And unfortunately, those are the ones you have to see the most. Because they don't do anything else but. Ooh, Touhou's old news. Dylan should pivot away from it and make content around Uma Musume instead. First of all, I don't know who Dylan is. Second of all, why would you want Uma Musume content from me? I know like 3 horses. 3 horses. 3 of them. I know Twin Turbo. She's great. She's great. She's my favorite. I know Gold Ship. She's funny. I laugh. I know Daiwa Scarlet. She has a huge rack. And that's, well, I mean, that's not the end. That's not all I know, but those are the 3 that I think of the most. Alright. Oh, Ah! That's marked as a hot take, chat. Agnes Takyon. No. No, the only reason that horse is popular is because she's kind of creepy, and people found out that she likes breeding. So, all that character's popularity is rooted in goonery. Miss me with that. Miss me with that, fam. Miss me with that. I'll take the dedicated upstart, not the freak. Alright. Ooh. E e ah. E e ooh. Those that cite a fan game as their favorite Touhou game are not real Touhou fans. Bam. 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 That's bait, chat. That's easy bait. Ah! That's easy bait. That's easy bait. Chat, what's your favorite Touhou game? I think my favorite Touhou game is probably, at this point, it's probably Fantasy Maiden Wars. Because I really, really fucking like that game. But I also am a huge fan of Misty's Izakaya. And Komasho Densetsu. The first one more than the second one, but they're both really good. Those are great games. Those are great games. Lost Branch is a great game, yep. Lost Branch is a great game. Oh, Mainline wise, my favorite game is Touhou 8, but Puppet Dance Performance is good. My issue with Puppet Dance Performance, I've said before many times, but it is still a good game. It's still a very good game, but it's not my favorite. Fantasy Maiden Wars is currently my favorite, and I wouldn't even really call that recency bias. I mean, it kind of is, I guess, but like I said before, that game does immaculate job with the story and the character writing and, you know, the animation, the music. Everything about the gameplay is fucking top notch, and all the stuff that you get outside of the gameplay is also incredibly good. It's fantastic. All right. I'm not reading that because you're telling me to go on a fucking scavenger hunt for manga pages. Alright. Oh, Okina Madara in the 4 games where she is an active presence, 16, 16.5, 17.5, 20, showed a much more crafty personality and more interesting power than Yukari Yakumo showed across many other games. Okina's design is overall better. Okina and Yukari, if you strip them of their clothes, look exactly the same. So, yeah, okay. Her design's better. They're both tall, blonde women. Like, that's just... You mean her design's better? You could switch their clothes and you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. You have to look at their eyes. But you're not looking at their eyes, are you? You fucking freak. Also, is that actually true? I want you to look it up right now. Look at Okina and look at Yukari, and then strip them with your mind's eye and realize that aside from their eye color, they're like the same character. Ooh, Anyway, that's a hot take. And chat, I don't remember what Okina's relevance in Touhou 20 was. I know in 16, obviously. 16.5, she's in the dream world there. 17.5 is the petroleum. 20, I don't remember. I don't remember what her deal was in 20 at all. She had some manga appearances too, but those aren't mentioned here. Because this guy is a real fan, he only plays the games. Endings things? Oh, that would explain it. Okay, I have no idea then. I got no idea then. Alright. Anyway, I don't agree that Okina design is better, because her design is very similar to Yukari's. If you want to talk about her clothes, sure, fight that battle, go ahead. But I like Yukari more, and it's not really because Yukari has been around since 2003 versus 2017. It really isn't. Yukari's pretty great. Vermilia's wings are too small to generate the necessary lift for flight, therefore they are useless. Oh. This guy studies B-movie, I guess. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Is this B-movie? Well... Well. This is a hot take, chat. Now, let me explain. This is a very common thing. I like when people take a completely impossible, like, thing and then apply real-world logic to one aspect of it. Oh, the 500 plus year old vampire girl. Yeah, her wings are too small, so she wouldn't actually be able to fly with them. So, get checked, nerds. Get checked. Like, so what about the part where she's over 500 years old and she's a little vampire girl? What about that part? Doesn't matter. Her wings are too small, ergo, get nerded, nerd boy. Like, okay. You know, no other character in the series who flies needs their wings to do it, as far as I know. Flandere's wings don't even really work, but she can fly. Zun made the right decision to replace Cassin with Mommy Zoe in 10 Desires. Yikes, he said. Bait, he said. Streamer bait. What do you mean streamer bait? You think I'm gonna get mad? Why would I get mad? It's not even correct. Anyway, that's bait, chat. Zun didn't replace Cassin with Mommy Zoe, just so you know. According to the article, he wasn't sure if he wanted to use Byakuren or Cassin, and he opted to instead go with a new character altogether, which was Mommy Zoe. So it's not that he replaced Cassin, it's that he wasn't sure if he wanted to use, because one of the reasons for that was because there was already a number of returning characters in 10 Desires, and then the result was he made a new one. Which is really fucking funny because it means there's a possible universe where Yuyuko wasn't the stage 1 boss and then Mommy Zoe wasn't the extra boss and there would be no Mommy Zoe, and I think I would be so fucking happy about that. Alright. Anyway, that was bait, but you know. Zun should ditch the Zun pits for future games to experiment more with his music. Since first appearance in a mainline game was 14.5. The second aerial fighter game. I guess that's a spin-off game, not a main game, but you know. Chat, that's a hot take. And I'm just gonna say this. The dude's been in music production for like 30 years. At this point, telling him to experiment by ditching his fucking like most well-known shit. Like, what are you doing? Zun should ditch one of his well-known and experienced instruments in favor of doing something completely experimental. How about you experiment somewhere else? Can you imagine fucking Touhou 21 comes out and he's like, you know, I got a craving for club music. And it's all Zun-generated club music. Club music created by a 47-year-old man who's never been inside a club in his life. And that's the entire OST. It's experimental club music from a guy whose closest thing to a club he's ever had was a club sandwich. So, yeah, that'd be great. That's great. That's a great idea. We should do that. Alright. I am glad that the inclusion of Rumiya, Nitori, Rigo, Kaguya, and Moko were all scrapped during the development process of Hiso Tensoku. The game would have been so much more boring if they were featured in it. Is that easy bait? Easy bait. Yeah, that's bait. That's bait. That's bait. Now, I'll give them the benefit here. Obviously, it's bait, but the game might have been a little more boring if this was the case because the enthusiasm of the devs was not that high when that was the character roster. So it is possible that some of those characters would have been a little underbaked because there wasn't excitement to work on the project as much as there was when Frog and Bird became part of that roster. All right. Oh boy. Reimu is not a good protagonist. She has a cool design, but personality-wise, she's not entertaining or interesting and largely detracts from anything she's not the main character in when she shows up. Half of all Touhou characters are sassy or mean in some way, but Reimu is in a way that isn't any fun. There are tons of characters who are nasty, but in fun and compelling ways. Reimu, unfortunately, is not one of them. Essay take. It looks like an essay, but really it's like 3 sentences. I don't know. Some people really don't like Reimu, huh? Alright. Bait, if not, why are you into Touhou in the first place? Touhou has a lot of characters that aren't named Reimu. That's not really a fair argument to make. I think that one of the strongest parts about Touhou is that despite its massive cast of characters, its protagonists are so impactful and interesting. It's not like Mario. Sure, everybody knows Mario, but nobody picks Mario, right? Mario's not really a character you pick all the other side fucks. But like, Reimu is a character who, even though she is the protagonist, you'll see her and be like, yo, I'm playing Reimu. I'm picking Reimu. Yeah, that's a hot take, chat. So this is basically just somebody who doesn't like Reimu. Because they fully admit, like, half of the characters are like Reimu, but when Reimu does it, it's not funny. They don't like it. So, they have some kind of personal vendetta against Reimu. As to why that is, I couldn't tell you. But, I don't know. It's just the fact that they said that other characters do it, and it's cool, but when Reimu does it, it's boring, and I don't like it. So, like, what did she do? She hates all Smash 4 Mario mains. Well, Mario wasn't a real character in Smash until Smash 4. But he is definitely an obnoxious character. He was fun to watch when people were good with him. And I think he's fun to watch in Ultimate when people are good with him. But he is he's a silly dude. But he really wasn't a character until then. In Brawl and Melee and 64, he really was an all-rounder type character. He was boring. But Smash 4 turned him into a combo character with great frame data, good kill power, and stubby range. So they made him a real character. He has a little bit of everything still, but he has a very established gimmick. I can't use him though at all. I cannot handle Mario. He's fucking weird. Stubby little asshole. Yeah, Mario was not a good character in earlier Smash games, but they really gave him something to work with later on. Alright. Yo, this theme kind of fucking baller. This sounded like Ballroom about to turn into a rap battle. That's what this sounds like. It's like a ballroom rap battle. Mamizo being a main character in every manga is repetitive and someone else should get the spotlight. I don't think she's a main character in, like, every manga. Just 2 of them. Streamer disciple take. What? Streamer take. You think just because the word Mamizo pops up, well, along with the words "fuck off," like it's a streamer take? Come on now. She's not a main character in every manga. They are right that it's a little repetitive though, how often she appears. That's a hot take, chat. I don't agree or disagree in the sense that she's definitely not the main character of everything, but her presence in Forbidden Scrollery was fine to an extent, and then she just didn't go away, like, at all. And at that point, I was kind of tired of it. I went from indifference to dislike. That's my opinion. Touhou would be more fun if Zun used his older characters more, because 99% of them feel like they're forgotten as soon as they're introduced, and it detracts from his otherwise really good characterization of them. Now, the best question I have here is, what defines his old character? You mean any character that came out before the thing that we're talking about? What defines an old character? Because some people will tell you that the only thing that people do with Touhou is use the old characters. So you see, like, we're kind of at this weird, we're at this weird pass. You see what I mean? You see the problem? Hmm. Okay. The characters they like, of course. Ah, you're right. This is a hot take, chat. Well, the way I see it, I like when Zun uses characters that have an actual reason to be a part of the thing. Because that's cool. But also, sometimes he just makes characters because he wants to use characters. Or he makes a character that's so easy to use that he just uses it everywhere. But then you look at the fans, and the fans are like, I like this character, I'm gonna make a game about them. And it's like, man, I wish you would use other characters. It's like, but I don't like other characters. My favorite character is Remilia Scarlet. I'm gonna draw a picture of Remilia Scarlet. Hey, this is a really nice picture of Remilia Scarlet. Hey, you should draw Ubami from Touhou 20. Why? Well, you know, because everybody's drawing fucking Remilia Scarlet. You should draw Ubami. You know, I bet Ubami look really good in your style, but I don't like Ubami. Well, I don't fucking care what you like, bitch. Draw Ubami right now! Like, alright, jeez. How about you draw Ubami? Oh, I can't. I'm not talented. Fuck you. Fuck you. Byakuren is hotter in her monk outfit than her biker outfit, since it leaves more to the imagination. Chat member, you need to seek Buddha right now. That's what you need. Actually, maybe you don't need to seek Buddha, because it sounds like you're going to be unwise. Maybe you should go somewhere else. Streamer, you can't call this a streamer take. Bro said, Giga Glorp, wait. Huh? Is bro about to admit something to the class? Well, I cast Rule 2. Bitch. Anyway, that's regarded as a hot take. So this guy leaves more to the imagination. What's there to imagine? A pretty woman? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. If Jun had a car, it would be one of those big American sedans for the 1960s. I'm just gonna stop you there and say that she has a car. She calls it in her win quote. Not her win quote. In her win pose in 15.5, she calls a car, and sometimes it hits Shion. She calls a limo. Now, granted, that's probably not her car, but you think she drives her own goddamn car? You think she drives her own car with all that fucking money? What are you, stupid? What are you, dumb? What are you, a fucking moron? She doesn't drive her own damn car. She pays people to drive her around in fancy cars. Come on. Know your character. Lost Word is the best and most accessible way to get new fans into Touhou. Bait, obvious bait. Bait, 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 obvious bait, bait, bait. Bait, bait, bait. Garbage bait, bait. Sadly true, bait with semi-truth. Chat, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. So this was written by somebody who only plays Lost Word. Lost Word is the most accessible way to get new fans into Touhou. I will concede that. However, the best? No. No. It's not the best. It is not the best way to get into Touhou. Lost Word is just it just doesn't really do any of the characters justice, you know. My biggest issue with Lost Word is that the real characters, aka the characters that exist in the supposed Gensokyo that we know, are all tropes. And then everything else in the game is alternate universes as a way to basically create their own fucking characters. Which sometimes can be interesting, given the scenario, but they don't make it interesting, because why do that when you can just charge money for a costume and call it a different character? So, no, I don't think it's a good way to get into Touhou, because the majority of the content you're going to see in Lost Word has literally nothing to do with Touhou itself. You're going to see skinwalkers pretending they're certain characters, but have completely different circumstances and personalities, so it's not the same character. It's just not. It's just not. Not how, and it's not good. Accessible, though, I have to admit, it is one of the most accessible, but I have personal beef with Lost Word. Well, not really personal beef, but I don't like Lost Word, and I don't really respect it either. And It sucks to say. It does suck to say, but genuinely, if your only interaction with Touhou content is Lost Word, then I don't really want to talk about Touhou with you. That's all. Why are we doing this twice? Short Aki is better than tall Aki. Opinion. But it's true. That's a hot take, chat. So if you don't know what short Aki and tall Aki is, tall Aki is canon Aki, short Aki is the fandom interpretation of Aki, rooted mainly in the discrepancy. What's the word I'm looking for? The difference in size between Komachi and Aki is a dynamic that took over her character to a point where she became a bit of a joke character in some capacity. But realistically, she's about as tall as Komachi is. So, yeah. So this person's saying that the short one is better than the tall one. But, like, I don't really think that's fair to say because the sample size for the tall Aki is non-existent, and the sample size for short Aki is like every piece of fan content from 2004 onward. So, yeah. There you go. Oh, shit. Despite being a very old and well-known character, Yomu is quite boring. Her design is meh, her personality is lackluster, her music themes leave much to be desired. I really do not understand what people could possibly see in this character. Bad bait. Kinda wrong? What part's not wrong? Targeted bait. Yeah, a little bit. That's bait, chat. Despite being a very own and well-known character, is Yomu boring? No. Is her design meh? No, her design's great. Is her personality lackluster? No, her personality is great. Her music themes leave much to be desired. I really don't understand what people could possibly like about this character. Well, I mean, everything about her is pretty cool. You know, everything about her is pretty cool. She swings a sword. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, right? Kagero is cooler, better designed, and has way more potential than Momiji. The only reason people attack Momiji like this is because she happens to be part wolf, and it's kind of sad. It's like the idea that the only reason Kagero is not nearly as popular is because there's another wolf already. As if like what kind of fucking... What kind of bull donk is that, man? What kind of bull donk is that? Both are hot. Alright, brother, you need a lint roller on you or something? Like, see how much fucking hair you got on you. Anyway, that's bait, dumbass. You lose. You lose! It's bait. Nobody thinks Kagero is cooler, better designed, or has more potential than Momiji. It's bait. You lose. You lose. Bang. Shion's relationship with Tenchi is unnecessary and weakens her character. I died. Game over. Bro? What? Patana, 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 na, 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 patana. I'ma say hot take. Take, bait, bait. Wrong. Jun take. Jun is... What do you mean Jun take? What a fucking idiot comment is that? Anyway, that's a hot take, chat. Shion's relationship with Tenchi is unnecessary and weakens her character. Literally, yes, it does. That's the whole reason why Shion sticks to her like glue, is because Tenchi's fucking character makes Shion's misfortune not work, hence weakening her character. So, like, literally this is true. That's literally true. Shion and Tenji's relationship is fine, but I think really the main issue is just the shipping part. I think that's what this person is getting at. It's not so much. I think it's probably less so the idea of the powers and fortune, and it's more so the Shion / Tenchi shipping, which is just yeah. The only characters that should be playable are Reimu and Marissa. Get rid of everyone else. Touhou 20 had the correct idea. Shipping sorta happens in canon. I like how the idea of any character hanging out with another character is grounds for obvious romantic intent. It's like friendship isn't real anymore. Friendship is not a real concept anymore. If two characters are friends, no. It's not friendship. You can't even be sisters without this shit happening, man. You can't even be fucking blood-related sisters without this shit. You think friends are gonna be safe? You think friends are safe from this? Anyway, that's bait. I like when there's different characters, mostly because of story purposes, but it is simpler to make Reimu and Marissa the only shot type. Especially when you have all the fucking stones going on, and they're so relevant, right? So, there you go. Alright. Alright. Why isn't there more Komachi x Kassen fan art? There was even a good chunk of WA that was about Komachi messing with Kassen. Oh boy. Oh boy. Then make it. My thoughts exactly. What is bro talking about? I will say, actually, the author, well not author, the illustrator of Wildhorn Hermit, Aya Azuma, I'm pretty sure has made shipping dojins with these two characters. So, if you want, you can have an official, quote-unquote, official dojin of this pairing. It's kind of funny when you see these people make their own dojins, but they're responsible for official stuff, so you see it, and it's like, oh shit. It's like official in a weird kind of way, isn't it? Isn't it? Alright, anyway, that's a hot take. This is somebody, I don't know. Komachi's not actually as popular as you think she would be, but be the change you want to be, bitch. Be the change you want to be. I'm tired of your complaints. Alright. Oh boy. Most of the yokai designs in all consideration are relatively samey and too consistent, which in retrospect for the franchise makes sense in the lore due to the unchained by human imagination. However, I feel as it misses out on some of the other cool features of said yokai. Momoyo Himemushi could be more centipede-like features, such as the hair being more visibly segmented like legs or antenna. The Tengu could have more feathery growths, similar to Kagero Imaizumi. Heck, even Yukari can have floating limbs crossed with her gaps or casts and having her arm unfurled more often, although that is a bitch to sprite. Anybody got the emote? You know the one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Somebody got it. Somebody got it immediately. Somebody got it immediately. That's what this take is. That's a monster fucker permit take right there, my guy. That's a monster fucker permit take. Come on now. Come on now. Momoyo should be more centipede-like. Alright, buddy. Alright, bug boy. The Tengu should have more feathery growths, similar to Kagero. Alright. Alright, buddy. Alright, whatever you say. Whatever you say. That's a hot take, chat. Whatever. Whatever, bro. Whatever. You get that monster bread. Touhou 11 is an easy Touhou game. Kagero's bits of fur are pretty cute. They cover the entirety of her wrist and possibly up to her elbows. Balls in your court, brother. Balls in your court. Bait. 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 This is a hot take. Well, chat, did you know that Touhou 11, much like every Touhou game that exists, is actually an easy Touhou game if you play it on, get this, the easy difficulty. Whoa! I can't believe it. They're all easy games because you can play all of them on easy. That's insane. Thank you for your brave opinion, you fucking idiot. Ay, 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 ay. The Yukari is Mary theory ruins both characters' uniqueness. Chat, I demand you give this guy a standing ovation. I demand a standing ovation. This guy is so correct. We've already seen this take before. Yeah, but now we're seeing it again. Alright? We've had this before. Yeah, which means that it's a good take, idiot. Standing ovation. And you know what? They explained it perfectly. And they explained exactly what I explained in like 3 words. Ruins character uniqueness. That sums up my opinion on that theory perfectly. Well done, chat member. You are number 2 on the list of best chatters today. Number 1 was somebody else who said something earlier that I forgot. So, yeah. I have no idea what that is. I'm not gonna read it. Bump. Bump. Marissa is worse than Reimu gameplay. Bottom. Bum. Bottom. Bum. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. Incorrect. Small hitbox take its placebo. Small hitbox doesn't exist past Touhou 15. I actually don't know if it exists in Touhou 15, actually. I think it does. I think it's the last game it's part of. Anyway, that's a hot take. I think Marissa is an easier character to play than Reimu's easier to play than Marissa. I wouldn't say that Marissa is objectively worse to play, but I guess it depends on the game. Some Marissas are like poverty, massive poverty arc Marissa, but I don't think Marissa is inherently worse to play in every game. Though I guess it depends what your opinion of worse is. Alright. Doo-doo. Okina should have stayed in a wheelchair permanently. Oh, I can arrange that. Making her be able to walk around is exactly the same thing as making a blind character and then giving them sight with magic. Oh, this guy's got my brain in a knot. There's the dent. The dent is getting bigger. Number 1 chatter was stop crying about characters with being in a game and make media them yourself. Yes, that's the one. That's the best take today. My dent. Chat, this is marked as a hot take. And when I was reading that, my mind immediately went to Toph from Avatar. Toph is a blind character who uses earthbending to see, quote unquote. She can detect so many vibrations and shit that she can basically lay out everything that she sees. So it's really cool. But she does have blind character moments when she can't get her feet on the ground. That's why she's barefoot. There's actually a lore reason for it. She's a great character. So Okina staying in the wheelchair permanently is a fucking opinion. But also, a blind character that can see with magic is something that it's like, why is that a bad thing? That's not a bad thing at all. That's having a shortcoming that you can't, that either you can't, like, you couldn't have helped, or it's happened because of something you did, and you're overcoming your shortcoming by making up for it in a different field. If you can't see but you can use magic to see, that's cool. That's cool. That's why Toph is cool, because she's blind but she uses earthbending and she can see through earthbending. But obviously it's not as, in ways it's better than normal sight, but also it has a stronger weakness where if she's not on the ground she can't see. That's cool. I think that's pretty cool. In my opinion, Zun should have never put her in a wheelchair to begin with, because people are so fucking annoying about it. Oh god. Oh, we got a word salad, boys. We got a word salad. Here we go. I feel like Sumireko could be a more interesting character if Zun played a bit more into her being an outside worlder, in contrast a bit with Gensokyo Residence. For example, have her feel some sort of guilt for the incident she caused, since she is relative to the rest of Touhou's cast, a normal human who hasn't yet abandoned common sense, and have her constantly try to make up for her mistake, if not the world, or something, considering most of the other incident causes are weird, guiltless creatures most of the time. Another angle I feel Zun could have delved into with Sumireko but never did was giving her some sort of connection with Yukari, potentially giving more of a look into Yukari's whole deal, such as drawing more connections between her and Maribel. Yukari could be a little less aloof and mysterious around Sumireko due to her friendship with Renko, assuming Yukari is Mary. I already hate you, chat member. Maybe even make Yukari somewhat protective of Sumireko so she doesn't risk Renko not existing. Again, assuming yeah! It would be interesting to see the interactions between one of the creators against Sokyo, the would-be destroyer, especially with the context of the Hifu girls and their friendship being an ever-present thing in the background of their relationship. Okay. I did it. I read it. What do you think, chat? Streamer's getting mad. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe I'm a little mad. Maybe I'm incredibly mad. Maybe I'm so mad that I have to wash away my madness with a drink. It's a take. Yeah, it is. That's a hot take. But he actually made a good point. Nobody in Gensokyo ever feels any remorse for the shit they cause. Ever. But most of the incidents that happen don't really have that long-term negative effects. But Sumireko threatened to blow up the fucking barrier. And everybody was just kind of chill with it after the fact. When she's like, if you won't let me in Gensokyo, I'm going to blow up the barrier, so you have to let me in. And they were like, can you fucking don't? And then they beat her up. And she was like, alright, I guess we're all chill now, right? It's like, no. No, I don't think we're chill. Why don't you feel any fucking guilt for this? Fuck you. Alright. Right, that's... Now, the thing is, I know I said give me your worst bait, but like some of this bait is so bad that it's not even worth talking because it gets exposed in 3 seconds. It's just... Man, it's not good. You gotta... Your bait needs to be... it needs to be good bait. Honestly, Sumireko ain't that bad of a character. Hot take. Very good. Very glorb. Next. 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 UFO is one of the best Touhou games ever made, on par with IN. The UFO might be annoying at first, but you can route everything in this game, and if you play correctly, you can get full life even before entering stage 4. Oh, not another one of these fucking takes. It is a very satisfying game to practice. I think people will be enjoying this game a lot more if they learn to adapt the UFO route. If they pick the wrong UFO color, instead of picking the 3 red UFO again 3 times, you can go for rainbow UFO and get 2 back. If you play correctly, you don't die. Have you tried that? Yeah. 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 That's a hot take. No, that's a hot take. He's just so tired. UFO is on par with IN. And you know, the UFOs are annoying at first, but if you just route it and play correctly, you can fill your life bar by stage 4. So you know that the UFOs aren't present during the boss fights? So that still requires you to get through all 3 of the boss fights without taking any hits, which UFO is a difficult game outside of the UFOs. If you just play perfectly. If you just play perfectly, you can max out your life gauge halfway into the game. and it's really fun. So just, you know, just play perfectly for 15 minutes, make no mistakes, and then you can play the back half of the game and make plenty of mistakes and cry so much. Yeah, it's a great game on par with IN, but it's pretty annoying at first. Yeah, IN's not very annoying at first. IN's not annoying at all. FW is one of the best Touhou games since LOL-K. The fact that you can make your own focus and unfocused shot type is really cool. It just kind of sucked that you have to play it multiple times before you can fully enjoy the game, unlocking the stone. Also, one of the few games where I can say Reimu and Marissa are equal in power and shot type, so that's pretty cool. This guy is allergic to plurals. This guy wrote this. He's allergic to pluralization. Anyway, chat, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Actually, it's my floor. Cool. Take. Yeah, that's a take, alright. You know what? I don't agree that it's one of the best games since LOL-K, mind you, but I do agree that being able to customize your focus and unfocused shot type is really cool, and it does kind of suck that you don't really get to do that until you beat the game multiple times. So the fun part of the game comes after you fucking put yourself to its misery for a couple hours. So you know what? Good on you, chatter. Good on you. You enjoy the new game, and I'm happy for you. All right. People who say EOSD is bad as their hot take don't realize how cold their take is. It's funny because this was submitted. Well, who knows when this was submitted actually, but this was. I closed submission, so this wasn't submitted after everybody complained about it. Motherfucker just knew. He knew. Whoever submitted this knew what was coming before him. He knew. Anyway, that's bait, but it's very funny because this motherfucker predicted so many comments. He predicted so much. I need to die now. Zun should just suck it up and either reintegrate the PC98 era into canon or retcon it entirely. Being supposedly canon yet isn't acknowledged at all outside of throwaway references is annoying. It also means Reimu and Marissa barely acknowledge backstories despite being the main characters because whether or not PC98 canon drastically changes their past. Well, he's actually kind of right about that. Not drastically, mind you, but it does alter their past. I can feel a breeze through my floor. My toes are activated. They're cold, actually. My toes are cold. Why is there a breeze in my room? My window's closed and my fan is off. What the fuck? So in retcon PC98 called just ignoring it. Well, the latest comment that Zuda's made on PC98 was essentially that it's fine to think it's canon until it conflicts with Windows. If it conflicts with Windows, then look at Windows for your information. Otherwise, who cares? And that's kind of how it goes. He had a slightly different opinion years prior to that, but it's not really anything to get hell-bent over. That's for sure. It's not really getting bent out of shape for it. PC98 has a lot of stuff that isn't his, I suppose, is a big part for it, but yeah. Yeah. PC98 has its moments. It's not perfect. It's not amazing, but it has some stuff in it. Reimu is a spoiled bitch. Let me change that for you. Okay. Alright. I have altered the take. Pray I do not alter it further. Anyway, that's apparently a hot take. Okay. Yep, that's what I want to talk about in my Touhou stream. I like the Watatsky sisters. I would go into more detail, but I'm tired. Don't feel like writing much. Well, luckily for you, chatter, I'm tired too, and I don't feel like talking very much. Next. Yoshika being able to heal herself is genius game design. It adds a fun challenge to her fight. Bait? Why is it bait? Why do you think it's bait? You think Yoshika's gimmick is... No, it's shit? Why is it shit? Tell me right now why Yoshika's gimmick is shit. Is it because it's shit? That's such obvious bait. I'm saying it's actually real. That's not how this works, buddy. This is bait. Yoshika's healing mechanic is so fucking stupid. Like, it's probably the farthest thing from fun you can get in 10 Desires, which is fucking impressive because it's 10 Desires. Like, damn. God damn. No, but actually, the healing gimmick was really bad design for Yoshika, and unless you know how to do her spell card, specifically the last one, do it really, like, dangerously, you have to time it out, and it's just like, what the fuck off? Momiji is overrated. I don't get why she's so popular. Allow me to explain to you in like 5 words why she is so popular. Wolf girl with a sword. Risui, Ladies of STM artist. I don't know what that is. And Zunos draw beautiful stuff, but their writing and characterization is absolutely atrocious a lot of the time. And I think people only give them a pass because the art is good. Huh. Sounds like a lot of artists I know. What? You think just because you can draw a pretty picture doesn't mean you can write a compelling story? But also, the reverse is true. You can write a compelling story, but you might not even be able to draw a stick man. They're completely different skill sets. They are completely different skill sets. So, yeah. I have no opinion because I have not read any of this. So, glorp. But, there you go. Anyway, that's a hot take. You're free to argue about that one on your own, but I have no horse in this race, so... You know. Yeah. I think Okina is a boring character. I do too. Next one. Alright. Oh, baby. Alright, word salad time, boys. Word salad time. The flying fighters suck. Not for any gameplay reasons, but because of how cartoonish and ungrounded they are in the setting compared to the IM Soku eras of fighters. The Soku fighters provided a lot of interesting insight into the setting and serve as a basis and inspiration for a lot of fan works. You'd never see Patchoulie's Royal Flare be treated like the final flash as super move it is otherwise, so I can say with confidence without the more grounded setting, we wouldn't have gotten absolute cinema like Elemental 8. You got to see the fighting styles of all the characters and a different perspective to the setting, and it was cool. It was immersive, made you appreciate everything more. Meanwhile, with the flying fighters, I feel like I can't trust whatever's on screen to be canon to the setting, and it likely isn't, which is a shame because it's got characters I like, such as Moko and the Origamis. Whereas before I could do some observation on the characters and learn more about them here, I can't exactly learn anything. Another example, Raisin's gun in Lol K is just a generic sci-fi blaster like those old Lego Star Wars blasters that use the megaphone pieces with a ribbon evocative of bunny ears on the end. It's small, it's reasonably sized, and it looks like something that fits in the setting given that Raisin has shown herself to have some engineering know-how from FS. But in Ulil, PS4 and AOCF, it's suddenly huge in the portrait art, looks like a trumpet and has actual bunny ears on it, can change size and shape inexplicably, etc. The problem with that too is that it affects the depiction of things like that forever afterwards. Raisin's lunatic gun is always drawn as a huge megaphone trumpet now. Koichi has non-desaturated green hair. Nitori has robot arms with gloves on the end and machines that look like goofy cartoon Kappa. Whatever the fuck is going on with Doremi? What's bizarre is 17.5, despite its art style being more exaggerated, is more grounded. Maybe not as much as Soku, but there's no real cartoon shit going on in the attacks. I can buy this as something the characters can do in the setting. Also, what the fuck is going on with Doremi? Don't get me wrong, I do like the flying fighters. They're still really cool. Really, I just said the flying fighters suck as an attention grabber. I love the music and the story. They're still the best for giving us tons of character interaction and cool moments. But it's like, man, I'll never get over that. Tassifo, please make 20.5 epic as hell. No cartoon shit. Put Moko and Alice in it as returning characters, and my life is yours. He is so fucking spot on about Doremi. It's hilarious. He is so fucking spot on about Doremi. What the fuck is Doremi doing in those games? What the hell is she doing? She's like a serious character, and then immediately round one starts, she pulls out a fucking vacuum cleaner and doots a trumpet and turns into the Doremi Machine 3000. Like, what the hell happened here? What is she doing? What is she, Luigi? Anyway, chat, this is a hot take, but I actually think that this guy's opinion is very well thought out and put in a way that makes me kind of agree with him to a pretty heavy extent. Like, legitimately. I don't think the flying fighters suck, but I get what he means when he says that the grounded fighters, when characters use certain moves, those became pretty synonymous with the characters as well. Like, when Alice does Artful Sacrifice, she just lobs a fucking exploding doll at you. And that's just Alice. Everybody knows that's how Alice works. Master Spark is obviously a big laser. Like Patchy's attack that he mentioned. Like, there's a number of examples. Most of Remy's moves, where some of her moves are actually just her fucking tackling you. Those are iconic to her kit at this point in time. But then there's some moves, there's some silly moves in the air fighters. Granted, Marissa has a pretty fucking silly move where she attacks you with her ass. You gotta give that one up. But yeah, Doremi is... What the fuck is Doremi doing? What is Doremi doing? I don't know what Doremi's doing, but she's funny. She's funny. But this is well put. I think this is very well put. And while I don't fully agree with everything they said, I see their point, and I agree on some points after having critically thought of it. So well done, chat member. Maybe you've convinced somebody else in the world. That's the shit I want to see. Not EOSD bad. In the recent Lotus Eaters manga, it's very annoying that they don't get the absolute perfect character to resolve each incident. Mice problem, ask Nazarin. Mosquitoes swarming, better call Wriggle. Lightning strikes, burning the village, Tojiko or Iku can help. But no screen time for our favorite waifus. Chad, I don't actually know what's going on in Lotus Eaters since like chapter 50 something. But, yeah, this is more the ball in your court. This is more in your court, boys. When I finish stream today, I'm gonna eat a whole fucking plate of scalloped potatoes. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'll do that first. It's gonna be great. Alright, that's a hot take, chat. Again, I don't have a horse in this race. Recent chapters, I don't know. But, you know, okay. Alright. Too easy, not good bait. Alright. Bad Apple's original PC98 version is better than the more known remix by Alstilomeria Records. It's less repetitive, and I hate that they cut out the second half of the original. Popular thing not good. You'd be surprised to know that everything that is popular is actually not good. So how did it get popular? Glop. Anyway, that's a hot take. Original PC98 Bad Apple is fine, but the mix by Alstilomeria Records is a great song. The reason it's popular is because of the crazy PV that somebody made, but the song itself is still very good. So, you know. Yeah. Alright. That's okay. I mean, I've seen opinions before. Some people give very fascinating opinions. Have you ever just like been in a Twitch chat and just read the Twitch chat of the streamer? And like you see these people have their opinions, and you just think to yourself, I am like really glad that I'm not that person. Now I'm not talking about my Twitch chat, but I was literally watching somebody earlier, and there was a guy in chat who said that all music is like fucking art music, and if it's not, if music isn't art music, it's pop music. And other chat members were like, so what's rock and metal? What's jazz? Pop. They're all pop. Every genre is pop. Every genre that isn't art music is pop. And I was just reading this, and I was like fascinated, because I feel like I was at a zoo watching an exhibition on Monkey. And I was just like, okay, like it makes you want to say something, but you're not just about to first time chat to yourself and be like, boy, what the fuck are you talking about? What the hell are you on about, brother? It's just sometimes you see this shit and you gotta watch it. I mean, I've seen one before. I talked about this one when I was playing Kirby, but somebody was talking about how emulation bad because there's ways to play the game outside of having to emulate it, and their example wasn't like the example wasn't like eShop. The example was buying it secondhand on an online site. Like, don't emulate games because you can buy it for 5 times the original price from some asshole who's selling it online. And if you can't do that, then sorry, Sweaty, you shouldn't be able to play the game at all. And it's just like, you can't really think this, right? Like, this is an opinion that somebody else told you, and you were incapable of rational thought, so now you're just saying it yourself. There can be no other fucking explanation for that. I want to play a Virtual Boy game. Alright, I'll download a Virtual Boy emulator and Virtual Boy ROM. You can't do that because Nintendo released a Switch 2 extension for the Virtual Boy library where you need to spend $500 on a Switch 2 and then $100 on a Virtual Boy, and you can play Virtual Boy games now without emulating. So now emulating is bad and you shouldn't emulate, fucker. Okay. Alright. Okay. I will do that. You're right. You're so right. I will write my apology letter. Dear Nintendo, I'm sorry I wanted to play Tetris on the Virtual Boy and didn't want to give you $800 with tax to play the Virtual Boy on Tetris. I understand I have made a grave error, and I will continue to be a supporting customer going forward. I will buy all of your sloop in the future. Please take me back as a consumer. Anyway, Gensokyo is the perfect example of anarchy done right. Let me explain. Please do. As chaos, the place gets almost no one is punished for it. Anarchy is not the absence of law, it's the set of rules people willingly follow. Alright, this guy's actually making fucking sense. In this case, spell card rules. The purpose is to make humans easier to resolve incident, make yokai didn't go overboard with their power, so almost all battles are treated as competitive spar rather than actual duels to extend a certain boundary. We don't talk about Junko. We know what she's named. Her spell can't blame her if she's not even from Gensokyo. This English needs some work. And there's no rolling the place. Reimu only acts when things are dire. Yukari keeps yokai in check, does she? The human village probably has some deal with Yukari, do they? And with some form of paradise where everyone can be free and do as they wish, the only consequences of their actions. So he's kind of right. That yes, the idea of Gensokyo is everything is settled by spell card rules and everybody abides by these rules. And you can do whatever you want, but if somebody beats your ass for doing it, then you gotta fucking hold that L. And that's the way the rules of the world work, which is pretty cool. Not all of that was bad, or not all. Some of that was kind of rough to read, but I kind of get what they're getting at, and I kind of agree with it. That the setting is pretty good. Bottom bum bum. Sakuya is overrated. Sure, she's cool, but what about Apache? Does she really outclass the great librarian herself? I swear I'm not biased, even though I work at a library. Yeah, and I work from home. What's your point? You think because I work from home, because I'm unemployed, that I like Kaguya? Is that what you think? You think I'm a fucking massive Kaguya fan because I too am not in education, employment, or training at the moment? Huh? Is that what you think? Quakuma wrote this. Quakuma wouldn't call Sakuya overrated. So, she wouldn't do that. She would gas up Patchy, but she wouldn't do it at she wouldn't do it by putting down another person. Especially like, come on. Have some fucking faith in Quack. Touhou has always been about music first, whether official or doujin. The characters, lore, and Danmaku gameplay only complement the music. Ruma is an Uma. No. Anyway, this is a hot take. Touhou, I wouldn't say it necessarily music first, but the music is obviously a big part about Touhou. But saying the characters, lore, well, especially the characters, take a backseat to the music is kind of insane, because pictures don't have music compositions for them, you know. And there's a lot of Touhou art. A lot. Womp, womp, womp. Oh. For a celebratory game of the series with multiple references to older games and a Watatsuki sister, Touhou 20 is a disaster of the series. I love the gem mechanic, and it had to be connected with ugly pattern designs and its ugly bullets, tears, and stones. I don't know who the fuck that is. Touhou 16.5, it's getting worse. Music is no longer nostalgic, and melodies aren't that noticeable as before. But that might just be a time thing, I don't know. Zone is clearly changing things up and experimenting, so that's a given. But I still prefer older tracks, even if it's something from Touhou 15. Stage 1 is one of the most climactic stages, comparable to Touhou 8's in memorability. It's quite menacing in its own way. The amount of characters is mind-numbing. Them not appearing again more often creates more and more characters that might not have more interesting lore even far in the future. It's just annoying. Especially since there are many fans of niche characters that will most likely never never get more. And I understand that it's just the way the kind of this genre works, where every character brings more marketable characters every chapter, and it's just the fault of this thing. I generally don't care about Zun's use of AI. Man has been stealing work from DeviantArt for years. Seems like many people genuinely think he's been making backgrounds by hand and barely anyone is talking about him, always just using art, or others are stock photos. Do you know what a stock photo's for? Of course, I believe what he's been doing isn't stealing, just calling it that because it's as uncreative as using AI. Although I didn't dig too deep, he actually stole some stuff before, I've heard. Yes, he plagiarized in PC98 days. What I dislike about the AI stuff is that he had attached it to other backgrounds he's been gluing together before. Glue? It's totally different art style, and stuff like this can be changed with correct prompting. He just didn't. Another thing I dislike about Zun's AI usage is how for some people it was supposed to be a way to make him work less on backgrounds and more on the game. When in reality it didn't change a thing. His art is still improving, sure, albeit it's flat! It's not whimsical as before his decision, but patterns are devolving. Most of the stuff is circles, random mess, a beam of bullets straight at you. Sometimes it's a bit more random to catch you strafing Strifing left or right continuously. Let's be honest, patterns are the stuff that needs most work. That's what actually needs all the coding and math by hand for every single enemy. He's always taking shortcuts now. Remember Touhou 8 stage 4 bullets coming at you? They are the same as just a beam of bullets, but look different, much different. More menacing and beautiful. Nothing like this now. Boss patterns are boring as well. They are mechanical now. Perhaps people were complaining that they don't see how they're supposed to dodge them, and they're simpler now, or Zun just is lazier and doesn't care. Patterns are no longer beautiful and menacing. They're either simple or random. Random final spells are not fun. What has Touhou 17 done 2 times happen again in Touhou 20 for absolutely no reason? Stages are mind-numbingly boring. Imagine an enemy that shoots bullets straight at you. Now imagine the same enemy times 20 in the same time that does the same thing, but it's more menacing now, yet barely difficult. Or an enemy that shoots a pattern in front of it has a different pattern behind it. Changes absolutely nothing, but visually is much more interesting. Stages are an ugly filler now. Enemies aren't creating a story. They aren't here now to give you points. And the Touhou fandom is blindly following Zun and adoring every single decision he makes. He has the reputation of a poor indie developer, and yet his lawyer has been taking down Touhou music off YouTube. He sold his IP to a predatory gacha developer. He is blissfully unaware of the issues others have with his games. He barely ever fixes them. The decisions he actively makes, and seemingly barely anyone cares. Touhou 20 mini-bosses are absolutely insane. Stage 6 boss Yellow Rock across the screen attack that might just kill you instantly. 90% positive reviews on Steam. Zun can take a dump on the screen and people will eat it up like a chocolate cake. And I'm not one of those people, just not afraid. And I'm one of those people, just not afraid to speak up. These are all probably hot takes. Still love Touhou. It's very educational. Cool stories all the time. Certainly changing. Not sure what direction. I just hope some issues will finally become aware of and change himself. As long as he is alive, active, it will keep the glue of Touhou, keeping canon things go together. With him gone, things will be more different, more likely for worse still. They'll all be over. Sorry, Nethercold. Probably the Touhou is not for everyone. Even the music, it's hard on the eyes, and that's why there's so many fans that have never played the games. The music is very repetitive compared to literally any other game. Touhou 1 and Touhou 20, and it's just how it is, and people shouldn't be forced into liking Touhou for what it is, which I was kind of doing a bunch of times. Some people deserve to be reminded it's not a fair thing to do. It's probably way too long to be useful, but still, that's what I think. Kind of hard for me not to yap with a wall of text XD. I think I may be way too passionate about this. Chad, what do you think? Hot take or bait? What do you think? What do you think? That would be amazing bait. Funny bait. Alright, well that's a hot take. Chat. My opinion is... What's your opinion, chat? Teleport and Violet Detector feels pretty good to use once you get used to it. Bait? 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 It's bait, chat. The teleport mechanic is awful to use, not because of how it works distance-wise, but because of how easy it is to accidentally do it when you don't want to. Fuck you! There we go. My mouse wasn't working. The community should give more love and attention to fan games. I want to see more art of fan game characters, god damn it. At the same time, fan media whose plots are only a retelling of the original games are automatically a waste of creative freedom gave to the community. Oh god. Oh god. Be the change you want to see. I'd actually go a step further and say that I hope this chat member never changes. Never. Well, that's regarded as a hot take. Fan media whose plots are only a retelling of the original games are automatically a waste of creative freedom Zone gave to the community. You know Fantasy Maiden Wars falls under this category? Fantasy Maiden Wars falls under the category of retelling the original game's plots. I'm not mad. I'm furious! But it's fine. It's okay. That's alright. Sorry, sweetie, but you made a game and you referenced works that already happened. You wasted your time. You waste your time. You should instead make more random obscure characters nobody cares about. What about you, chat member? What are you doing? Nothing? Just gonna sit on my ass and complain about it some more. Okay. What's good about Reach for the Moon, Immortal Smoke? I mean, it's always top 10 in popularity poll, and I don't understand why people love this song so much. The piano sound? Nah, don't be such a bad taste person from just hearing taps of piano sound. And wow, this is banger for real, and if you're really a bad taste person, you could be worse by explaining how good a song is aside from piano part. The only thing I can hear just spamming of sounds. Too chaotic, it's not melodious at all. Alright. Is Reach for the Moon, Immortal Smoke top 10 in popularity? I don't think that song is that good. I don't think it's that good. That's bait though, chat. That is bait. But yeah, I kind of agree. I don't really think it's that good. Admittedly. Alright. I think that Zun should calm down with the amount of new characters and give time for the existing ones post 16 Hidden Star and 4 seasons, since outside of a few select, they don't do too much of a story. 19/Udal was a good step, letting non-stage 6 EX boss characters. Zun should give more screen time to characters from Touhou 16. Did you know that Rumia and Wriggle have not been in any official media in any real meaningful capacity since Aya's interview in 2004? You know Letty has not done anything since then as well? Just because a character's from an early game doesn't mean they have actual lore. It's all made up by the fans. All of it. All of it. Show? Who the fuck is Show? I've never heard of this character in my life. Ever. Alright. There should be a Touhou game where the Lunarians are the protagonists. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of unfair and repetitive that only Gensokyo takes the spotlight. I can speak for many people that we would want such a game. Yeah, that's Touhou 18. What about it? What about it, bro? Show always a no-show. You know, saying that to the wrong person could get you your hardcore Minecraft destroyed. Just so that, careful. Careful with your jokes in the future. Nobody wants their hardcore Minecraft survival server to get DDoSed. Who is this? We are where do they live? Well, I read that sentence correctly. Alright. That's bait, chat. Nobody actually believes this. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes this. Okay. My updated take as to why I think Touhou deserves official manga dedicated to the mainline and spin-off games. Okay, well this guy made a take earlier and he came back and decided to elaborate, so I'll allow it. I think it would look awesome to see Danmaku fights that actually feel like Danmaku fights, have an insight of the protags to actually take actions and incidents and at least a little bit why. As for open-endedness, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of popular manga that have open-endedness as well, so I think Touhou would lose it as well unless too much gets revealed. Basically, this guy wants to see how a fight would go down from the perspective of not the player character, but as two characters in universe. I get it. I understand. I think it'd be cool to see Reimu do Musei Fui all the time. But when Reimu Muso Fui's in, like, when she's not in a game, it's like cool and it's a finishing move. When I Muso Fui in game, it's because I fucking suck and I have to get through this spell card or I'll die, and I just press it. So, like, it's not as cool when you do it in the game. Alright. Most Touhou characters are intentionally vague and underdeveloped so the audience can fill in what their personality what they personally want, and that's why it's a fanfic generator. Most characters are more or less writing prompts. No. Characters were getting lore as early as Touhou 7. Fill in what they personally want? Fuck you. You don't fill in what you personally want. You respect the characters. You respect the characters. And then you do what you want. As long as it's within the realm of believability of the character. I hate when people go like, oh, this character has a cool design, but I'm gonna put my own personality into it. And now it's just, you made an OC. You made an OC, but you gave it a skin suit. I hate that shit. No, it's streamer, it's an alternate universe. You know what? There's an alternate universe where my nut is on your face. Fuck you. Alright? Fuck your alternate universe bullshit. Respect the goddamn series. That's why I hate Lost Word, man. Lost Word doesn't respect the grind. Lost Word doesn't respect the grind. It's all AU bullshit. No, streamer, it's fine. I can make a completely different character from the character that's established because this is my universe. You know what's a cool idea of a universe is when the circumstances of the characters are different and you can kind of try to figure out how they would go with it like that. Here's a good example I saw before with Dungeon Meshi, an alternate universe where Seishi doesn't, you know, he's not, the situation isn't where he's in the dungeon, but he meets the cat girl, like alone, and it's just kind of like him with the cat girl and he feeds her, and it's like, okay, so we still have the same characters and their circumstances are still roughly, they're not the same, but I guess Senshi is kind of like, he's a product of his circumstances, so you wouldn't be able to remove what turned him into what he was, so that's important, right? You need an alternate, if you're making an alternate universe, you need to keep the core aspects of what made the character in their backstories, but put them in a different situation and see how you can apply it to them. The alternate universe where character is just not the same fucking character is pointless. Fuck you. Just make your own OC. Make an OC to get 5 likes on Twitter for and then cry about it. Fuck you. You don't deserve any more likes. Piece of shit. I'm angry. I'm getting angry. Alright. While admirable Zun's Dojin-esque, I'll do everything myself approach and complacency with the tools actively hold the mainline series back, to the point where Fanworks run circles around it both in quality and actual player count. I get that the dude just makes these for fun and we're along for the ride, but it's still pretty silly that the only way to legally play 3 of the most iconic entries is to scrap around for CDs and patches because the beer man couldn't be bothered outsourcing a remaster. He's actually so fucking right about that, it's not even funny. This guy is so fucking right. He's so fucking right about that, it's insane. Did you know that Silent Hill has like multiple ports and most of them are shit? But they exist. Zun made a game in 2002 and was like, oopsie, I guess that game will never escape 2002. Anyway, these are the 3 most iconic games in the entire series and the ones that everybody tells you to play. How do I play them? It's not my problem, bro. Figure it out. Figure it out. EOSD is the most overrated piece of media to exist. Sure is, buddy. Sure is. Yep. 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 Very glorp. Glorp chip. Glorp chip. I think Touhou 13 is one of the most enjoyable games in the series, specifically for how little resources it gives you, and I think it's more enjoyable than harder games that just hand out bombs and lives like candy. I hate this guy. This has to be bait. IDK, I kind of get the rationale. No, you don't. I'm gonna explain why you're wrong. Anyway, that's a hot take. Touhou 13 is enjoyable because it gives you little resources, and that's more fun than the harder games. The harder games are more fun because you get a sense of accomplishment when you complete a difficult pattern. 10 Desires is just like, alright, you have 2 lives for like the entire fucking game. Now, go fuck yourself. Alright? Do you feel accomplished when you beat 10 Desires? I think most people, when they beat 10 Desires, they think about how glad they don't have to play 10 Desires anymore. With hard games like UFO is a hard fucking game. Beating a boss in UFO without making mistakes feels great. But that game also makes your resources fucking awful. That one sucks too. Enjoying the game because it doesn't give you resources is a weird difficulty enjoyment. I don't know, that's a weird one. So you don't enjoy the game for having harder patterns or more difficult patterns or difficult overall gameplay. You enjoy the game because it gives you less resources to work with. That just seems weird. That just sounds like you have you like starving yourself. It just sounds like you enjoy starving yourself because it makes the food taste better. Like, bro, go eat. Go eat some goddamn food. I smell food. Not my food. Touhou in general is just too difficult to be enjoyed by anyone, and the only reason people like it is because they want to show off that they beat it. People like the N64 Mario Party for the same reason. What? I like the N64 Mario Party. Actually, that's not true. I like Mario Party 1 because I went a long period of my life where I wasn't allowed to play it. So it's like a forbidden fruit type of game. It's a shit game, but it's great. Mario Party 2 I played a ton of, and it's a solid game. I don't like Mario Party 3. I think Mario Party 3 is a bad game. Every Mario Party 3 game that I play always results in misery and boredom. I don't like it. Anyway, this is bait. So this guy wanted to show everybody that he beats it. So that's great. Now everybody knows that you beat it. Congratulations. Alright. The smell and rejection tier lists need to be updated to accommodate the new FW characters. Are you sure about that, chat member? Are you sure about that? It doesn't. How would they smell? What does Ubame smell like? Well, she probably smells like the mountain. What does Chimi smell like? Chimi smells like mothballs, 100%. She's so old, she probably smells like old. And if old has a smell, it's mothballs. She smells like mothballs. What does Nariko smell like? She probably smells like damp clothes because she just hangs out underground by a pyramid all the fucking time. She's just in a dark cave. What does Yuimon smell like? She smells like misinformation. No, she probably smells like dirt because she just lives in a pyramid. What does Arya smell like? That's very easy. She definitely smells like dirt. She's been in the dirt the whole time. What does Nina smell like? She smells like a clam. She smells like a clam. There you go, done. I did it. I have updated it. There you go. What about the rejection tier list? Ubame would punch you in the gut. Shimi would probably look at you and laugh. Nariko? Well, you might have a chance with Nariko. She's pretty chill. Yuimon? I don't know. Yuimon? I don't know, maybe. I guess it would depend on circumstances, but who knows? Arya? Probably not. But who knows? Nina? Probably. Nina, you could probably hit her with some crazy shit. I think you could hit Nina with some crazy shit. You could probably rizz her up. But should you? No. Absolutely not. But you could. E, ooh, e, ah. Alright. Zun will never listen to what you have to say for the series. Nothing is guaranteed. Touhou is his personal diary, which occasionally became extremely popular. Many people constantly waste their time criticizing things that will never happen. Breaking news. Nothing ever happens. Yeah. Nothing ever happens. But I know what's best for Touhou. I know what's best for Touhou. I'm the biggest Touhou fan. I have a shrine dedicated to my favorite character. I should be writing this character's lore, not Zun. Nobody knows this character like me. I know this character. Nobody gets it. Okay. Alright. Ba-dum bum bum. Ba-dum bum bum. Ba-dum bum bum. Well, Zun is not above criticism. Well, he ain't, but I am. I do think that his way of storytelling is not as bad as people make it out to be, given how Touhou has a wide cast of characters, like Wide Reimu, Wide Marissa, Wide Sakuya, Wide Sanai, Wide Racen, among others. People complain on how Zun underuses some characters, might not realize how hard it is to jungle with multiple characters for a story and make it coherent and flow naturally. 100 chapters to Mamizo, please. And for some characters, people think Zun overuses, making his story biased to them, specifically in the mangas. You're right, that wouldn't happen. 200 chapters to Mamizo, please. Which is why I think it's a good mentality to see Zun as another fan manga artist. He has its own bias to the characters and the way he writes his stories, and that's okay. No, it's not. That's not your fucking... That's not fucking okay. Alright? That's not okay. 300 chapters to Mamizo. Okay. I am above criticism. Is this a hot take? I don't know. This is a hot take, chat. People complain that Zun underuses some characters and complains that he uses others too much. Yeah, that's true. You could replace character X with character Y and you'll get the same story, the same song and dance. But that's just life. That's life, baby. That's life, baby. Nope. While Zun acknowledges about the growing Western fan base, it is still baffling that he still doesn't consider having a translator for its games. He does know that the fans do the translation themselves and lets him do it, but still feels dismissive for him to leave to the fans to do it. I'm just gonna say this right now. The greatest aspect of Zun as a creator is that he does not give a flying fuck about the opinions of any natively English speaker. That is the greatest part of Zun in its entirety. I love that part about Zun. I really do. I really fucking do. God, that is my favorite part. Fuck all of y'all. Fuck me too. Touhou Lost Word is an okay game if you don't take it seriously. A classic. No, it's boring. Gotcha, bait. This is a hot take, chat. Touhou Lost Word is an okay game if you don't take it seriously. It's not even a good game, chat. If you turn your brain off and just accept that it's slop, it doesn't even get to be a good game. That's crazy. Like, this is the minimum amount you could possibly, like, say for positives to this, is that if you don't take the game seriously, it's okay. So, at its best, it is okay. So what is it at its worst? Dailies collector take. Let me tell you something, man. I realized when I was playing those gacha games, there's this fucking sad background music right now. Me reliving my gacha moments right now. There was a point when I played gacha games where the only interaction I'd have for these gacha games for literally months on a time was logging in, doing dailies, and then not playing the actual game. Ever. I would get dailies. I would never actually engage with the game. Maybe once or twice a day every month or two where I would actually play the game, and then it would just be, oh, I gotta do my daily. Gotta log on, do my dailies for when that day comes I want to play the game again. Everything is automated. Everything is designed to be extremely grindy, and they make it automated so you don't actually have to play the game, and you still convince yourself that you're playing the gacha game. It's ridiculous. So people will be like, oh, I play 3 gacha games. You don't play 3 gacha games, my guy. You have 3 part-time jobs that don't pay you. You have 3 part-time jobs that you probably pay for. You pay in time and possibly pay in money. That's ridiculous. No, I gotta log on to Fate, get my dailies. Alright, then I gotta log on to FE Heroes, get my dailies. Then I gotta log on to Arc Knights, get my dailies. Then I gotta get on Grand Blue, get my dailies. Then I gotta log on to, Mahjong Soul, I gotta get my dailies. It's like, oh, I play all these gacha games. When was the last time you actually played and didn't just let it play itself? Think about that. If you find yourself in this rut that I found myself in, where you play gacha games, but you haven't actually engaged in actual gameplay in weeks, it might be time to accept that the time sunk has come and you have to let go. You're not getting your time back. You're not getting your money back, and any more time and money you put into it, it's just a sink that you have to accept it. You have to accept it. Oh boy. The series would be more relevant and the fan base would be in better shape if people stopped focusing so heavily on EOSD and instead put those efforts into exploring newer characters, music, and games. The irony of this statement is not lost on me, but it is very clearly lost on the person who submitted this. The fan base would be in better shape if people stopped focusing so heavily on EOSD. It's like pot met kettle here. pot met kettle here, bro. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't we all be happier if everybody who liked EOSD just stopped liking EOSD? Yeah. Junko is one of the best villains in the franchise. Hot take. She's a pretty bad villain because she didn't succeed in her goals. Is she a villain? I consider her the protagonist. I think in Touhou 15 I play as the villain because I stopped the hero from succeeding. Yeah. People who hate Marissa are valid. What does that mean? Chat, what does that mean? Valid. Like for credit? For credit score? Like if I say I hate Marissa, I can apply for social credit? It means they're correct. People who hate Marissa are correct. Correct about what? That's you, streamer. Where? Is that me on screen there? No, that's Sakuya. I would be in a pretty different profession if I looked like that, I think. You know? Anyway. Valid is certainly a word choice. I wish fan game rosters were more adventurous. I know some of my favorites are pretty popular, but I also like it when the niche characters get a chance in the spotlight so people can turn into fans of them. I love a fighting game with Seki Banki and Sagume, and they aren't that niche. I don't have data for this, just a feeling. I don't understand. I don't understand. I've never liked this opinion because I feel like when people say that people should make things people should make fan content featuring characters that aren't popular is just completely disregarding the actual creators, like, character interests. You look at your own top 10 lists of characters and you think, I'm going to dedicate a lot of time, energy, resources, and potentially money into making something regarding these characters I like. And then somebody who has no stake in it tells you that you should use characters that you don't like because the characters that you do like are already, they're popular, so they already have tons of stuff. And if somebody told me that, I'd probably tell them to fuck off. But, you know, that's just me. It's your project. You make what you want. I really hate when people say shit like this. We're just like, you should make a game, you should make something that doesn't involve popular characters because they deserve it. No, the character that I like deserves it because the character that I like deserves the world. Fuck you. That's why. You know, there's an entire puzzle platformer where you play as Sekibanki, and it's a great game that utilizes Sekibanki's characteristics. And also the creator of that game was a mega Sekibanki fan. And wow, we got a great game out of it. Isn't that insane? They made a game with Sekibanki because they really like Sekibanki. Isn't that awesome? It's pretty awesome, right? It's a great game, by the way. It's a great game. So yeah, I don't like this. I don't like these opinions because, to me, it's the kind of opinion from somebody who's just a sideliner, who doesn't have any stake in any of it, and they just think that people should make things because it'd be cool if they did, not because they want to make them. So you're imposing your own ideas on somebody, and it's their time, it's their resources. If you're paying them to do it, that's a different story. That's called a commission at that point. But if they're making something they want to make, fucking let them make it. Alright? Let them make it. The vast majority of Touhou characters have a better stage theme than they do boss theme. Oh, that's just blatantly untrue. I think they're just hoping for a hero. No. I mean, I guess you could, if you look at it like that, sure. People can want people to make things. I get that, but it's more the dismissive factor of it. Like, it's less so you should, like, I hope people make this. It's that people should make this instead of, people should make X instead of Y because I like X, and I don't care if you like Y. You should cater to X because I like it. That's the part that bothers me. Bad take. Yeah, it's a bad take. It is a horrendous take. Vast majority is blatantly incorrect. You are a fool. You are a fool. Bum bum bum. Yep. Yep. Tojiko should have been a stage boss in 10 Desires, not Yuyiko. Good take. Correct. Take IDK how cold. No, it's just it's an objectively correct take once again. All right. Alright. Touhou 17 is underrated in both gameplay and lore. I have no real opinion on this one. Sorry. I thought the game was fine enough. I had visibility issues and enemies take forever to fucking kill. Lore-wise, I kind of have to disagree because the lore of 17 is confusing and doesn't really resolve in a way that's really satisfying to the player. In fact, everything about that game, when you finish it, just kind of makes you go, huh? What? Oh, okay. I guess that's, I guess. There you go. Anyway, that's a hot take. Underrated? I don't know about that, but, yeah. Yeah. Ichiden looks cooler with her hood up streamer. Now, this is actually 100% factually incorrect. You cannot, are you fucking serious? True? Die. Die right now. Have you seen what Ichiden looks like when her hood is not up? Huh? Have you even fucking seen what she looks like when her hood is down? I bet you haven't, and that's why you think this opinion is correct. Oh my god. No, that's a hot take. That's a hot take, chat. This guy just has a nun fetish. Guy has a nun fetish. Alright. The first 3 Windows shooters, EOSD, PCB, and IN, should not be recommended for newcomers who are just getting started with the games. Games from subsequent generations, preferably those with more simpler gimmicks and mechanics, such as Moth, DDC, or even Fossilized Wonders, would be better suggestions instead. Cold-ish take. Oh, okay, that's bait. Bait, bait, bait. Bait, bait, bait. Doesn't IN teach bad habits? IN teaches you that death bombing is a consistent method. It's not. But I wouldn't call that a bad habit necessarily, because you learn pretty fast that death bombing is not really something that's more of like a luxury than anything. Inherently a bit of a bad mechanic, but that's a whole different can of worms. DDC is hell. It has too many gimmicks. Anyway, that's bait, chat. Don't fall for easy bait. Alright? Ow. Zun's best work comes from the music CDs. Man, if only there was a vid out there going over what games are the best to start with. That video is like 4 years old. I think the only one about that I would change my opinion on is probably 14 and 16. I don't think 14 is great to start with, and 16 is definitely not good to start with. But I stand by that 6 is not good to start with, and 7 and 8 are great. 7, 8, Mountain of Faith partially. To an extent, well, okay. There's a couple of them that are good to start with. Some of them are awful, though. Definitely don't want to start with UFO. UFO is a really bad one to start with. I like Kirby. Kirby's pretty cool. This is bait, chat. Best works come from the music CDs. Not debatable, but he has some really good tracks on the Hifu albums. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Alright. Imperishable Night has one of the most annoying and grating sound fonts or instrumentation or whatever it's actually called in the entire series. It's somewhat bearable for the calmer tracks, and it makes the louder, more active ones terrible to listen to. Kaguya Moko's boss theme are by far the worst offenders in that regard. They legit give me headaches. The one exception might be Gensokyo Millennium, but even it has its moments. It's also just an overrated soundtrack in general, aside from a few standouts. Gensokyo Millennium, Lunatic Eyes, Illusionary Night, and Maiden's Cappuccino. And the rest are just okay at best. Bait, this guy can't be real. Oh, I assure you, chat member, this guy is very real. That's a hot take. That is a hot take. This guy fucking hates the sound of trumpets. They give him headaches. And the game's OST is overrated. But there's a couple good ones in there. There's a couple good ones in there, but the rest are they're okay. They're okay at this. Alright. Zun underuses his own universe. 2 examples. Writing 2 canonical manga centered on the human village and not including Kane. 80% of the enemies in the main games being fairies. This guy is so right! He's so fucking right! Can you believe that shit? The core setting of 2 of these mangas is the human village, and Kane is so much as a fucking cameo. Because he wrote other characters to fill her role. And now all she does is nothing. She does nothing anymore. The main enemies being fairies, though, I don't know about that one, but that's also kind of true. Yes, there are fairies fucking everywhere, but they're basically pests. Kane had a cameo in Wildhorn Hermit where the fox student, but I don't think she actually appeared in Forbidden Scrollery, and I don't think she appeared in Lotus Eaters. Touhou 10 is too difficult to be recommended as a first game for discovering the series. Most cameos are just the artist drawing characters in the frame, yes. Unless the plot dictates them to have conversation, then it's most likely just Sun being like, whatever, who cares? That's a good music. Touhou 10 is what I call too difficult, but it's not the best one to recommend. But if you had to recommend either 10, 11, and 12, 10 is the easy recommendation. 10 is pretty simple, but it is... I think it's really held back by its continue system for newcomers. But yeah. All Touhou games have varying degrees of difficulty, and some games have certain patterns that you might not be very good at. But like I said, as far as the continue system games go, 10 is definitely the best one to start with over SA or UFO. Aria is cooler than Moko. Chat, you're gonna love this next one. Aria is the most memorable final boss only because of her design. Do you think this was submitted by the same guy, or do you think that these two takes were just like fucking back to, like, could you imagine? It's the same guy. This guy's like, she's cooler than Moko and only memorable for her design. This seems like hater talk and like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, these are both regarded as hot takes, but I regard them as a waste of time. Alright. Sagume is a trash character, and her ship with Doremi is stupid. She deserves way better. Okay. Truth hurts take. Bait. Shipper take. Bad bait. Also shipper. I assume they mean Doremi deserves better. Yeah, probably. Because they said that Sagume is trash. Well, chat, that's a hot take. Is Sagume a trash character? Oh. Is the ship with her with Doremi stupid? Yeah, it is. Shinmyomaru Sukuna and Seija Kijin could have both been top 5 Touhou characters, but if you include only canon, they're below mid. Well, actually, Shimmy is below mid, and Seija is above mid, so when you average them out, they are in the middle. You're right. You're correct. Their popularities equal out to the middle. What is he saying? He's saying that his fanon for these two characters is really, really good, and it blows canon out of the water. That's what he's saying. If Shimmy and Seija were like how he thinks they should be, they would be top characters. But if you only include the way they actually are, they're not very good characters. Casket of Star LLS is Marissa's best theme. That last one was a hot take, chat. I don't remember if I said that or not. Does anyone remember what Casket of Star sounds like? It's the theme from Lotus Land Story. You're comparing this to all of Marissa's other themes. This is a hot take, chat. I don't agree that Casket of Star is their best theme. It's a pretty good one, though. I'll give you that. Ba-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum-bum. Mystic Square is better than Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. Oh, is it? That's crazy. So why is it better? Characters, gameplay, music, engine? That's a hot take, I guess. Touhou fans that don't like the games make no sense to me. Bait? Gatekeeper take. I don't think that's a gatekeeper take at all. Dude isn't gatekeeping in that sentence at all. He's just saying he doesn't, this is a hot take, chat. He's saying that he doesn't understand how Touhou fans don't like the games. I guess it depends on what part of the game you don't like, right? But it is weird to say that you are a Touhou fan and you don't like the games. Because that's like, that's what Touhou is. But like, the games have lore, characters, music. There's more than just the gameplay for the games. If somebody said they don't get with the gameplay, that's fine. But if somebody said they were a Touhou fan and they don't like the games, like blanket, that doesn't make any sense to me either. What are you a fan of at that point? What are you a fan of? You like Dragon Ball games, but not the anime, and vice versa. It's a fair take. Dragon Ball is a manga. Started as a manga. Your examples are not the source material at all. Holy shit. What are you talking about? Touhou isn't a light novel? No. Touhou is my rapper pseudonym. That's the name I go by when I rap. Did you know that? Secret exposed. The degree of what he means when he says don't like the games is up for debate, but if somebody said they don't like the games in the sense that they don't like anything about the fucking canon material, then yeah, how the fuck are you a Touhou fan if you don't like anything Touhou? If you said you don't like the Touhou games because you're not good with the shmup genre and it's not really fun for you to play, that's fair. That's perfectly fair. That's a hard genre to get into. Tis. But I don't know if this is saying gameplay or like how there's too much information. It's too much information. Okay, we have targeted animosity here right now, boys. Eternal Shrine Maiden, any version, is a better Touhou national anthem than Gensokyo the Gods Loved could ever be. Targeted hatred right here, boys. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, that's pretty chill. Bongo. Bongo. It's too calm to be. They wouldn't specify any version if this were bait. This guy is fucking a genius. It's a hot take. Yeah. What is Eternal Shrine Maiden, chat? I don't know. Touhou national anthem. Gensokyo the Gods Loved isn't a Touhou national anthem. It's a theme of Gensokyo. Calling it a Touhou national anthem is disingenuous, and you're angry. Now I'm angry. Now I'm angry. Oh, great. Now we're both angry. Now we're all angry. Vast majority of dark Touhou content slash Touhou horror is trash. This guy's never seen Touhou 5 Dark Square. He wouldn't be saying shit like this if he read Touhou 5 Dark Square. I'm just saying. That's pinnacle horror, baby. Pinnacle horror. Dark Shinky. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff. Anyway, that's a hot take. Well, I mean, I don't engage in this content, so I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion. That should be a FNIF mod. Actually, honest to God, yes. Make a mod of Dark Shinky. That'd be awesome. Dark Square mod. Alright. Touhou 19 was actually pretty good, but only thanks to the many character interactions. Oh. Oh, is that why? I mean, I think the character interactions in the game is pretty great. Ooh, Kirby Melee. Or Checker Knights. Bum 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 bum. Well, that's a hot take apparently. Well, I think the game, I had fun with it. Its gameplay. I enjoyed most of the character interactions as well. They were pretty silly. So yeah, you know, it's fine. It's a fun game. Okay. Touhou 14 is just Touhou 13, but good. Elaborate. Okay. I think they mean that Touhou 14 is like Touhou 13, but a good game, in the sense that every Touhou game is the same. They're all the same game. So when 14 came out and it wasn't 13, it was automatically a good game. But that's just me. I don't know. There's like 7 words here. I don't have a lot to work with. There's nothing remotely similar about these games' mechanics. Sorry, not mechanics, gimmicks. The gimmicks couldn't be farther from each other. They're quite far from each other. This is, what the fuck is this even? What does this mean? I don't know what this means. It's a hot take though. Alright. It's easier to read Silent Sinner in blue 3 times over than go through the slog that is cheating Detective Satori. You'd think Zun would be better at writing a detective mystery since he liked Agatha Christie books so much. Let me say one thing. Just because you like something doesn't mean you're good at it. Alright? Just because you like mystery novels doesn't mean you can write a mystery novel. That's not a fair comparison. That's definitely not a fair comparison. Hot take. TD bad take. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Trash versus garbage. That's the same thing, my guy. That's the same thing. Hey, at least Satori got to appear in at least one of these, right? Ichiden is a better written character than Sanae. The only reason she is unpopular is because she isn't from Moth, and Zun's unfortunate comments about her. What comments? Her appearances in the written work show her as a better public face for the temple than Sanae is for her shrine. Unzan and her are also a great comedic foil for the temple's other personalities. She's a victim of memes because Unzan is a dude and has laser eyes, so people write her off and ignore her deeper character. Huh. What comets? The ones from the sky? It's gotta be bait, cause who's debating Ichiden versus Snai? Bait? Bait? Bad bait, I hope. Bad take. Bait? That's a hot take, chat members. Bum, 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 bum. The only reason Ichiden isn't popular is because she isn't from Mountain of Faith. That's pretty funny considering most people would say that most characters aren't popular because they weren't from EOSD. So it's neat that there's like actually a bit of ground here for Ichiden comparatively to other characters. This guy, I don't know if this guy just really likes Ichiden or he just doesn't like Sanai. This is so like, what a random fucking selection of characters you took to create beef over. Ichiden is better than Sanai. Like, who's fighting this battle? Who the fuck is fighting this battle? Who's fighting this battle on either side? What's going on here, man? Alright. Bum ba-dum 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 bum bum. Bum bum ba-dum 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 bum bum. People who complain about Zun's new art style purely do it out of cope. Communities on Twitter and Reddit can't make cheap memes on bad Zun art anymore since it's actually decent now. People don't actually believe characters like Koichi, Satori, Sanai, etc. Don't believe them, what? Actually look good as they rely on fanworks or fighting games for their headcanon. What? Da-da-da-da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-da-da-dun. First problem is that you in Reddit man. Oh. I guess a Redditor would be in a man, huh? Well, shit. Anyway, that's bait chat. I don't really understand what this was trying to convey, but good job. Good job. Moon. The plot twist in Silent Center and Blue that Eren has been in contact with Lunarians behind everyone's back makes her a more respectable character. People's seething hatred for Lunarians makes the fact that Eren tried to stop a lunar war for Kaguya's safety go completely out of the window. When other characters such as Yukari have separate motives to the main cast of the story, no one bats an eye. No one cared when Cassian had tea with her evil arm. But the second Eren has nostalgia for the moon, they flip out. Did you know that it is impossible to argue in favor of Lunarians without a disingenuous argument? It is impossible to make these characters seem good unless you conveniently leave out different beats or compare them to other characters. Well, chat, that's bait. That's bait, baby! Oh, shit! Bait. Oh! Goodness gracious. Insane. Good stuff, chat member. You won. The ending to Wa ruined the rest of the story. The story should have ended with Cassian finally learning to overcome her Oni form, not forgive it. The whole slice of life aspect should have meant Cassian became able to honestly enjoy her time with Reimu and give up her need for material possessions. What was the point of Komachi and Tenshi's talks with her? She's just left the problem for some future shrine maiden, I guess. Bold of you to assume that a plot line for a manga concludes in a way that actually makes a fucking difference. I don't read. That's okay, brother. And not after the stroke I had on the last one. Chat, that's bait! That's bait! Oh, 2 for 2! 2 for 2! Alright. Ba-dum-bum. I actually think that Junko's theme is not that great. It's just way too much and very repetitive in my opinion, and I wish I could enjoy it more. Me too, chat member. I agree with you. Damn, man, I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. Her and Clown Piece's themes are very long for their loops. Not longer than Rikako, though. That's a hot take, chat. I agree wholeheartedly with this chat member. I wish I could enjoy it more as well. Alright. Kaguya is the only entertaining Lunarian as a character. Unironically, if you ignore canon. Fucking unironically. That's a hot take, chat. That's a hot take. Kaguya is not even remotely entertaining in canon. She barely does anything in canon. She's only funny because in fanon she's presented as a fucking failure. But in canon she doesn't do anything. Ever. Nothing ever happens. Zun should pass on Touhou to his kids. Could you imagine being Zun's child, being 8 years old, learning about this series that he makes, and then like, he's like, alright son, now it's on you. And you're 8 years old, and you have your father's legacy. What do you do? What do you do? The sad thing is, in situations like this, they would pass the legacy on to their, you know, their blood. But what if their blood doesn't give a shit about it? It's like if you passed on something to someone and they're like, I don't care, and they just sell it because they don't, you know, and it's just like, wow, that's your life. They just sold for a quick buck because I don't give a fuck. But like, you gave it to them because they were related to you. That was the only reason. God, that would be really sad. That would be really sad. Anyway, that's a hot take. I don't agree, mostly because I just don't like the idea of negatives that I'm presenting in my own head. Ever since 16.5, Violet Detective, the Touhou series has nosedived in quality, uniqueness, and music, and the point of the series thenceforth has lost most of its relevance in the current times. Alright, Zun fell off. Anybody got an opinion on that one? Alright. There's too many lightning-themed characters in Touhou, and it's made worse by the fact that none of them are given much to do after their introduction. I'm looking at Iku, Tojiko, Raiko, etc. Could you please tell me who etc. is? Because you pretty much named the only 3 that I can think of. Who's etc.? I mean, that's just true. Raiko is thunder, not lightning, dummy. Come on. Who's etc.? Who's etc.? Tell me! I don't know who etc. is. Kassen's Raiju. Does that count as a Touhou character? Well, Tojiko is thunder and lightning. I'm pretty sure Iku is also thunder and lightning, but I could be wrong about that. But they are right. They don't do much after their introduction. That's a cool power, and 3 characters who do stuff with it don't do anything. La-di-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Alright. The STM exploding gag has become a dead horse at this point. I'll be real with you, I haven't seen a good old-fashioned STM explosion in a long time. I wouldn't call it a dead horse. I would like to see that horse at all. I like the STM exploding. It's funny. A dead horse at this point? I don't think that's a correct thing to say. I don't think it's a dead horse at this point. I can respect Zun's wishes when it comes to not reusing characters, but I think this really hurts newcomers a lot if they don't have enough staying power since they end up just fading away. Would help if we got another Tassafro game. Listen, buddy. Just listen to me. Some of the most popular characters in the entire series haven't really appeared in canon in years. They don't do it anymore. They don't do it anymore. When was the last time you saw Remy? In Cheating Detective. Okay, when was the last time you saw Remy and it was relevant? In Cheating Detective. Oh. What about Flandre? When was the first time you saw her? 2002. When was the next time you saw her? 2019. Oh. Hey, isn't that one of the most popular characters in the series for 20 years? Yes. Yes. Indeed. It harms the image of the sages that Okina and Kassen have been mostly passive after their debut. I don't know what a sage is supposed to do. I know it's a title and all, but like, what are they supposed to do? I don't know. What is their role? Remy is in one of 20's endings. Endings don't really count because nobody sees them. Also, endings aren't necessarily canon. They're weird like that. Sometimes endings are canon, but sometimes they're not, so you have to play that game. There is not a single reason for Sanai to exist. Terrible character, terrible fans. Ouch. Ouch. Kinda hurts, doesn't it? Bait. Yes. Yes. Touhou needs to garner more popularity in the Western world in order for it to stay relevant. Being prominent in Asia is not enough for the series to rise above its biggest competitors in the West in terms of popularity. Undertale, etc. No. I mean, no. Bait. You know, everybody was so mad they didn't even have time to guess if it was bait. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nobody even had time to fucking guess. Insane. Chat, that's not bait. That's not bait. A human being wrote that and believes that. Touhou needs to garner more popularity in the Western world to stay relevant. They have a whole convention dedicated to Touhou in Japan. They're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. Shareholder mindset. I wasn't thinking shareholders. I was thinking more something else that is just as tiring. That's for sure. Rei Mari is the most logical ship and the most likely of the Reimu and Marissa ships to realistically happen. Chat, I have a friend. I've been friends with him since junior high. We've been friends for 14, 15, 16 years. I would say that it's extremely unrealistic that anything really romantic happens. You know, I'm just saying. I do think that these types of what? It's a ship or take. Sometimes I wonder if people who ship like obsessively have friends, because they seem to be bad at like understanding what a friendship is. They just, you know. Reimu and Marissa are friends who work together a lot. The obvious conclusion is Seigex. Okay. Of course. How could I not have thought of that? That's only the most it has to be possible. Last remote is mid. Thank you for your riveting hot take, chat member. I will remember that for about 5 seconds. Overall, the tracks of Zun's music collection are better than the game's soundtracks. This isn't the first time we've gotten this opinion, and while I do agree that some of the music track stuff is good, overall it's not better than the game soundtracks, because half the fucking music collection is game soundtracks, fucker. Fucker. Sometimes I think about the guy who got really fucking angry about PODD. PODD is an extremely well-designed game with amazing high-octane gameplay that you can't get anywhere else. It is an absolute blast to play. I've had a few people really fall in love with PODD after I fully explain how everything works to them. Also, POFV is my least favorite of the 3 versus shmups. Okay. No, but actually that guy who was like, PODD is the best versus shooter, and if you don't think so, then you are a skill issue loser. Fuck you. You don't even like Touhou 9 either. I bet you only like it because memes. That guy was so fucking angry at people. I think about that sometimes. That opinion was so aggressive. It's hard to forget it, you know? It's hard to forget it. This guy here just said that PODD is a great game and he likes it, and POFV is one of his least favorites. That other guy was like, PODD is the best game that's ever made, and if you disagree, then you are a cancer. And it's like, all right. Well, that's a good way to get people on your side. That guy was in debate club. He was in debate club. Yeah. UFO is one of the best games of the series. People that don't like it are just people that don't know how to improvise when things don't go as planned. And then a plan for them is usually go for only res and ignore everything else. You can max out your life count before Marasa if you know how to play it right. How fucking relevant after what I just said. UFO is one of the best, and if you don't like it, it's because you're just bad at it. The only tangible reason why somebody could dislike this game is if they're not good at it. And if you just, you know, you got a plan for them. If you know how to play the game, it's literally the exact same thing. You can max out your life count before Marasa if you know how to play it right. It's like literally the same thing somebody said earlier today. Oh my god. I'm gonna stop when Flandre dies. We're almost done. I want to get to a position where I can finish this next week. Alright. Sakuria's spell card in stage 6 of VOSD is kind of lazy and trying to get the player to bomb their way through it. I mean, that's just true. She even says, like, that's the whole point of it. She literally shows up and says, I have to make you waste at least one bomb. Like, I think it was being tongue-in-cheek on purpose. That's kind of how it was. People should be allowed to play the games on easy mode. What the fuck does this mean? Chat, when you download a Touhou game and you hover over easy mode, does somebody put a gun over your head and tell you to pick normal mode or else? Like, what the fuck is that? People should be allowed to play games on easy. What the hell do you mean? You're not allowed to play on easy mode. That is your choice. That is your choice, chat member. What? Oh my god. The bombing system in Touhou 10 and 11 is better than how bombs function in the other games. Why? Why though? Why is it better? Please explain to me. Why is it better that when you bomb you lose power, so you just have to sit there and fucking struggle with low power? Tell me why. Tell me why. That's a hot take, chat. That's a hot take. Alright. The instrumental choice for Wily Beast and Weakest Creature makes it have the most memorable soundtrack in the series. I wouldn't call it the most memorable, but you are right that it is a very distinct soundtrack. For some people, that's actually a negative. Some people think that Wily Beast and Weakest Creature soundtrack is very weird. I think it's pretty cool. It is a hot take, yes. It is a hot take. I don't think it makes it memorable, but that's just my problem. The extra stages of the shmup titles should have adjustable difficulty similar to the main game. Which main game? They mean the main game is in stages 1 to 6. That's what they mean. They're saying that you should be able to have an easy, normal, hard, or lunatic version of an extra stage. It's a hot take, chat, but it's actually a perfectly reasonable take because 1, that increases the variety of spell cards for the extra stage boss. It doesn't limit it to 1 difficulty. And 2, it lets people who aren't interested in the difficulty to actually experience a bit of the extra stage before getting absolutely butt blasted by it. It is so fucking funny to me how it's like, you play like PCB, for example, or EOSD. Let's use EOSD. And you start with maximum lives, and you trudge, and you trudge, and you trudge, and eventually you finally get a 1cc, and you're like, hot damn. And then you load into the extra stage, and you're given 2 lives, and there's only 2 1-ups in the entire stage. And you're told to deal with this stage for 8 minutes, and then fight a boss with like 11 spell cards. And it's like, yep, this is normal. It's kind of a fucking moment. is what that is. Flan is an example in particular is because you literally only get 2 lives. You get one from Patchy and you get one from the last fairy in the stage. Then you only have that for Flandre. There's no other lives that you get. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? But it's okay because Flanduru is there and she says Starbow break and her UNO play and it's like do 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 do. It's great, right? The frequent non-platonic shipping of Renko and Maribel is tiresome and unwarranted, or really just about any ship of this type for this series in general. Chat member is tired. They're tired of it. Tired of it. Shipping. Tired of it. That's a hot take. No, it's truth. I agree with you, chat member. I agree with you. Alright. EOSD is the worst mainline Windows Touhou game for newcomers, despite often being the one recommended. It has clunky gameplay, worst art, sound quality is outdated, difficulty scaling is crazy. If you don't even see State 6 on easy. It's also not sold digitally, so I know y'all are pirating it. Moth is a much better first Touhou game that you can actually buy on Steam. This was submitted by Zun's legal team. This was like legitimately this was submitted by Zun's legal team. Bum badum bum badum bum badum 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 bum badum bum badum bum badum Alright, chat. That's the last one I'm gonna do tonight, because I want to die. How many do I have left? I have about 170 left. Can I get through all of them next time? Maybe. I think I can. I'd like to. I don't even know how many I got through today. 170, not 107. Yeah. I think, either I finish them next week or I break it up into 90-90, but honestly, given the rate that we're at and the amount of repeating takes, I think I can probably belt it out. I can belt it out next stream, which would be nice. I think we would all like to be free of this. Some of these are still great, though. Honestly, some of these, they're very rare. They're very rare. Some of these are very well-articulated opinions that I think are pretty good, and I like that one about the air fighters I thought was great. I thought that one was actually great. But some of them are just EOSD bad, and then it's like, great. Anything else? No? Okay, alright. Moving on. Like, we just end up doing that a couple times more often than not. I hate to say it like that, because these are all different people with their opinions and all that, but like some of them are just not giving any real opinion or explanation to their opinion, and it's hard to really make a conversation off of that. And when you see the same thing so many times, it gets to a point where instead of trying to have a conversation, everybody just screams, "Skip, I don't care," because they're not explaining anything. Nobody actually gives a shit about the opinion anymore, because it does not matter. It does not matter. Nobody cares. EOSD bad? Okay, great. Glorp chip. Move on. Like, did you see? This doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Alright. Alright, I'm dead now. I've died. One more part. One more part. One more part. Hoopla! I'll see you then.